guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to the vlog Car Connections. Taking out the GT500 on a quick little spin here, but actually I'm just trying to see what this car is actually pulling, so we're gonna make a quick little drive to CarMax here locally in Houston, just to see how much will they offer on the car to get a pulse on the value of these cars. Just because you guys know that the value of all cars have been going down substantially, especially most recently, as inventory has jumped up and credit has tightened. Inventory is starting to climb, and with inventory climbing, ultimately the prices will be reduced. It's your, again, this is 101 supply and demand type of jargon. And so I want to see what this car's doing. Granted, the GT500 is a specialty vehicle. It's not your run-of-the-mill type of car, and so these cars, again, will hold their value always more than any other type of car when they're these type of cars. Again, not just the GT500. There's a countless Porsches, 911s, Ferraris, Enzos, you name them, that tend to hold their value. I'm not saying that the GT500 is by all means a supercar. At the end of the day, it is a Ford Mustang that is capable of performing at those type of high-tier, exotic type of cars, right? So, but these cars do hold their value, and so we're gonna take her to good old CarMax, and just to see what they are, because whatever they offer, remember, these companies are in it to make, typically around 20% profit on top of whatever that vehicle is. That lets you know the worth. So as an example, let's just say CarMax comes back and they offer, I don't know, $95,000 for the car. I don't know. I'm just putting a number out there. That means that the car really retails probably for like 105. 108, if that makes any sense, because remember, they're in the business of buying and selling vehicles. And so if they're going to buy a car for 95, again using that example, they're trying to make $10,000 off this car, right? Listed for, again, 108, 109, 110, who knows. However, let's say CarMax comes back and they offer 80,000. Then that lets you know that the car itself, at least from a CarMax perspective, I believe the car is only going to be able to pull, call it high 90s, which would be no good for me, right? Because then that lets me know that this car itself has lost tremendous value in the month and a half that I've owned it. I bought this car from a local Kia dealership, believe it or not, of all places, nearby, and they were asking $99,000 for the car, plus tax, title, and license. As you guys know, I had a Mach 1 at the time, and I traded in the Mach 1, and they gave me pretty much what I paid for the Mach 1. Where I really did really good was on the Mini, because I traded in two cars for one deal. And I was able to negotiate the car down to about $95K selling for them, and I didn't have to pay any TT&L on top of that, because when you trade in cars, guys, you basically have almost a tax savings, or you only pay on the difference between your both cars. In my situation, I had two cars that I had already paid taxes on, and this car, and so again, you only pay taxes on the difference, at least in Texas. I hope I didn't confuse you guys. So an example, let's just say, they were selling this car for $100,000 as an example, and my cars were only valued at $90,000. I would have to pay the 6.25% tax on $10,000, which is better than $100,000. It's a huge tax savings of around anywhere between $5,000 to $6,000. And so just trying to get a pulse on the GT500, how much has it gone down? Now, if these guys come in at a stupid strong offer, to be quite candid, the way I'm with cars, let's say they come in at $100,000 for the car, this car's probably gone, guys, just because, again, that's $5,000 in my pocket that would have never existed out of thin air. So basically, I owned the car for a month and a half, and literally drove it for free and made $5K off the car. So I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly thinking, if I want to predict right now what CarMax is going to offer based on current market conditions, honestly, take into consideration their again 15-20% margin that they want to make on the flip, they're probably going to offer somewhere in the low 90s. I'm thinking 89, 92. Comment down below, tell me what you guys think they're going to offer before you even see it, because I am going to show it right now what the actual offer was. We'd love to know, see if you guys can put a pulse on it based on what you guys are seeing out there in the car market. So again, heading over to CarMax. I should be there in the next 10-15 minutes. Once we get there, I'll let them go ahead and appraise it, and then see what the car's holding, see what the car's doing. All right, peace. All right, so quick update. Left CarMax, and I went to go grab lunch. They told me I would have the offer emailed to me in about, I don't know, 20-30 minutes. And so an hour's passed and nothing's happened, right? So then I give them a call, and I'm like, hey, just checking in. You know, I took my car in person just to see what the appraisal value was on the car. And they were like, yeah, we're still working on it, Mr. Moya. And they're like, we'll get it back to you, you know, in about the next maybe 40 minutes to an hour. And I'm like, okay. So this is weird, right? I guess, again, in most traditional cars are able to spec these cars out and get you an offer fairly quickly. But with cars like this, and which is my first car that is extremely rare like this, it looks like it requires a lot of, you know, calling around, seeing what the car's pulling, and so on and so forth. Because one thing I'll tell you is I try to go the easy route initially and just go on Kelley Blue Book to see what the car, and basically Kelley Blue Book couldn't give me an offer on the car or even an appraisal on the car. Just because the car is just, again, it's an extremely rare car, guys. For 2020, they only made 820 cars with the carbon track pack and painted stripes. And to be honest with you, I've gone to online portals just to see what the car pulls. And I have gotten offers for $94,700, which is pretty much what I paid for it online. But there's some offers that are coming in at $80,000, $75,000. That lets me know they have no idea what they're actually looking at, or they think it might be a base, maybe GT500, again, with the intent of them making 20%, 15% off the top. And so haven't gotten a response. As soon as I get it, they're supposed to email it to me. Again, it's been over an hour, easily hour and 20 minutes, and nothing's happened. Maybe they're just not interested in buying the vehicle. Who knows, right? Again, the market is shifting, and maybe they're just, trying to reduce their liabilities on the type of cars, they buy. Who knows? I mean, CarMax did come out on the news that they are taking a hit financially, more than, not as much, as Vroom or Carvana. Those guys are taking a bloodbath right now on buying cars at a very high inventory and not able to get rid of them. Unless you get rid of them, they get rid of them at a loss. So I'm thinking just, CarMax is being a little delicate, and they don't want to buy a car that's not going to sell, because again, you're talking about a six-figure car that most people, including myself, finance these cars. And if they can't find a buyer potentially that wants to finance it, not because they qualify, because interest rates, are 7, 8, 10, 15%, it makes it difficult, and the car will just sit there. And so I think they're just taking all that into consideration when it comes nowadays, when it comes to appraising and buying cars, specifically specialty cars like the GT500. As soon as I get the offer, if I get it, again, I'll post it and let you guys know what is CarMax offering on a 2020 GT500 with a little bit over 3,000 miles. We'll know soon.